Yep. It is one day away, everybody. Hey, join us live for the NBA draft tomorrow. We're going to be here, me and Chris, talking Pistons basketball, talking NBA. This is going to be a blast, but we need to talk about a couple of things. There's a recent quote from Troy Weaver talking about what he likes to look for in the NBA draft. And I'm surprised he gave this much away, to be completely honest. But Weaver voted in favor of going for the first group. Here's the question. There are prospects likely to be available at number 5 for reviewed as having both superstar and bust potential. We can talk about who those prospects are in a minute, and we will. And I'm going to give you some of the rumors and rumblings that I've been hearing about what the Pistons are going to do with the 5th pick. And there are 3 things that really, really stand out. So stick around for that. There are also prospects who could fill immediate roles and perform at high levels, but are unlikely to reach stardom. Here's what Weaver said in that. He said, I like the long ball, thus our title. Pistons are swinging for the fences. He said, I'm not bunting or trying to slap it into short center. I take a big swing, especially if I only have one chance at it. If I have 3 chances, in other words, 3 picks, okay, maybe I bunt one. But one chance at it, I'm going for the big fly. That's me. Okay, so here's what we know. And this is kind of something that's interesting for me because I feel like he did that in year 1. I felt like Killian Hayes was the big risk. He was the big risk guy. Isaiah Stewart was kind of a risk guy. And Sadiq Bey was the kind of surefire, here's what we know guy. It's kind of interesting. He went on to tell a story about Steven Adams in college, and he said it can't be this guy gets 18 rebounds, but he robs banks. Weaver said, no, we're not taking that risk. But if a guy averages 7 points because he's playing 16 minutes, perfect example is Steven Adams. And he goes, funny story. I took my best friend to a game. Pittsburgh was playing in Georgetown, and I was home in DC scouting. And I took him to the game, and Adam scored 2 points. 2 points. And I said, we want to draft this guy to be our center. He looked at me like, what? He scored 4 points and had 2 rebounds. And he said, Steven Adams was turning out to be pretty good. All he's saying is he averaged 6 or 7 points and 5 rebounds in college. That could be deemed a risk, but it wasn't. It was just people's evaluation. So when he's talking for swinging for the fences, I think this can mean one of a few different things. It can mean one of a few different things. And I think what we need to look at, and the first thing that we need to look at is who they could take in the draft. I think we want to look at that. And just because I want you all to be able to see what I'm looking at, let's have some fun with this as well. So we know the big 3 here, even though it's not the big 3, it's the big guy, Victor Wembanyama, and then Scoot and Brandon Miller. All the Brandon Miller number 2 hype is starting. It's full swing, full year here. But then we've talked about 6 prospects available for the Detroit Pistons. And the people that they have brought in are the Thompson twins, Jarris Walker, Cam Whitmore, Taylor Hendricks, and Anthony Black. These are the things that what we've heard from sources I've read, trusted sources. These are the 6 players the Pistons have had in for a workout. Of those players, they were overly impressed with Taylor Hendricks out of UCF. The Thompson brothers were fine. And Cam Whitmore left some things to be desired. This is interesting to me because everybody and their sister, their brother, their aunt, their uncle, their cousin has been projecting Cam Whitmore to the Pistons. When I first started doing evaluations, when I first started looking at things, this is the one that made the most sense to me. Now, I would honestly say I have Cam Whitmore near the bottom of that list of 6 players and people that I'd want to take. I know this sounds unique. This is me talking. Then I'll get back to talking about what I'm hearing. I would put Amen Thompson near the bottom, if not the absolute bottom. Anthony Black maybe down there as well, but I wouldn't be upset if we drafted those guys. Like, they have that huge upside. So here's what we're talking about when we talk about swinging for the fences. There's a lot going on here. There's been trade rumors about other teams wanting to trade into the top 5 in order to get Anthony Black. Interesting, don't you think? Now, all of a sudden, he comes out and says, we don't need the guy who puts up all the points and all this kind of stuff. He's a good player. Anthony Black averaged per 36 minutes, 13 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. It wasn't anything insane. He's a great defender, right? But this is wondering, like, maybe he wants to make people think that we're going for Anthony Black. This could very easily be a Thompson twin pick where you swing for the fences. I personally like Asar more, and I'm hearing that the Pistons like Asar more as well. So I think here's your two big swings when it comes to the draft, and then there's a third type of swing they could take. I think it's either Asar Thompson or it's Anthony Black, because those are the guys where you have to say to yourself, they haven't proven that they're going to continue to do it. Jarris Walker, you're going to get a ball mover. You get a guy that is going to rebound the ball. He's going to defend multiple positions. He's a pretty safe bet. Cam Whitmore seemingly is kind of in that mode of like, yeah, he's only 18, 19 years old, but it seems like he has all the things available to him. Your bigger swings are your Taylor Hendricks, because he played at UCF. So what does that mean? Anthony Black was surrounded by just awful shooting. So you hope that fixes a lot of those woes. Doesn't that sound familiar, by the way, Cade Cunningham? Like, the assist to turnover ratio was really poor with Cade Cunningham coming out of college. And we said, well, he had horrible spacing around him. Maybe opening that up will help Anthony Black in a similar way. And then Amin Thompson, the athletic abilities there. So I think those are unique big swings the Pistons could take. But that's not the only thing that we have going on here. There's also been these trade rumors. Could a trade for OG Anunoby be considered a big swing? Could a trade for Pascal Siakam be a big swing? Could he be talking about, I like to take a big swing, even though it was very clearly in the draft process, but he doesn't want to give away too much? Could he have then switched over? Could he have switched over and just been like, yep, I want to take a big swing, but then we're going to act like it's about prospects and stuff like that? Here's what we know about Weaver. He gives more than most people give. Even though he says it in a very slow manner, he actually does give more than most GMs will give, but it's not usually how you think it would be. This is one of those, I'm kind of, smarter than the average guy in the room type of situations. Not me, him. All right. I just want to make that clear. Troy Weaver, he's ready to rock. He's excited for this. I don't think the 5th pick rattled him like it did most of the fan base. The Pistons are going to be able to do something here. Don't be surprised if you see a trade. I would be surprised if I saw a trade, but don't be surprised if that name that's called at number 5 is different than you thought. Don't be surprised if he goes Taylor Hendricks because of just the length and the ability to be a phenomenal defender. He already has 3-point shooting, and maybe thinking that he doesn't have a great upside because of his handle and things like that. And he's like, no, we can work on that. Don't be surprised if Anthony Black goes at 5. Don't be surprised if Asar Thompson goes, even if Amen is on the board. Things could get weird. All right. Join us for the draft. We'll be there together. You got pick 5, you got pick 31. It's going to be an exciting draft. Let's hang. Let's see it. Let's talk. And we'll see you tomorrow.